Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Okay, Larry Sonnenburg sitting in for Steve Arterburn today. And I have with me Dr. Alice Benton.
Howdy.
And Dr. Sheri Keffer.
Hey, it's great to be with you and all the listeners today.
Yeah,
it's always nice to be with you.
Two brilliant minds. And last time we did a program together, we had some really interesting calls. I'm looking forward to more of those on this call, this day.
Me too.
It's the first week of October. And a lot of people want to, at the beginning of the year, they're really challenged to do things, make a newness of life and fix things and get those resolutions done and all that. Well, it's really not too late. You can still accomplish what you've been putting off, and why don't you do it this last quarter of the year? Why do sincere intentions not materialize? What derails folks? What's your experience?
Making them in isolation certainly doesn't help. And when we make a commitment with a group and we stick with regular check-ins about how we're doing, it helps hold us accountable and it keeps us motivated. I'm doing a parenting group right now, and we're doing daily check-ins with each other. And we're working on material that I was researching and gathering and things that I had done with my kids. But those regular check-ins keep me motivated to do what I already know is good. But if I wasn't checking in, I wouldn't be doing it as much. Accountability helps us immensely.
I would agree. And I think the other thing is, intentions might be our longings, our desires, our wishes. When it comes down to good old-fashioned change, usually it means we have to give up something. And we can wish, want, hope, long all day long and have that intention. But if we're not willing to do the hard work and really face ourselves and to say, what do I have to give up? And how am I going to live without that? And what can I replace that with that's much better for me?
So is there something that you've been putting off that you wish you could accomplish before the year is over?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'll be really vulnerable. I have two things that I've been putting off. And what's really sad is both of them have to do with self-care. And that is an area that I continue to grow in and I'm challenged in, truly. But one is I'm pre-diabetic, and so I have to really let go of some of the things that I do on a weekly basis as comfort things, like, it's the sweets or, that this aren't good for my body as a pre-diabetic. So I really have to address that. The second thing is I have this tooth of mine that I just found out has an issue. Now, I knew a year ago that it has an issue, and I went to go get it taken care of, and you know what they told me? It's too late. I let it go for a year. Ooh. So I know that's exactly what I said. I was all hopeful that I was going to go, and I didn't like the price tag of what it was going to cost to repair it. But now I'm dealing with a loss of a tooth because I didn't take care of it when I should have. So
that'll preach.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm preaching myself. But do you know what I'm saying? This kind of stuff happens in our lives, and so we just have to take care of ourselves and walk and not run, right? What about you, Alice?
I'm going to say mine because I want accountability. My husband and I are not dating regularly, and we're struggling to get back on track with that. And we know we need it, we know we want it, but making it happen has been too difficult. We haven't done it. So I confess that to you folks, and that'll help motivate me to stay on track, to get back on track.
And we're going to get yours when we come back.
There's not enough time for mine.
No. It's got to be fair. We're all people, right?
We'll be back right after this.
My husband's been addicted to porn since he was 10 years old.
I found out about 9 months into my marriage that he has a porn addiction.
My name is Sheri Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, a physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
Restore has empowered me and has given me the tools to work through my anger, work through my pain, work through my confusion, and help me realize that I am worthy.
Being here and being surrounded by people who get it has given me my power back.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Washington, D.C., November 12th through the 14th. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go online to newlife.com.
Thank you, Restore. You have changed my life forever.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Okay, we're
Okay,
back.
no, don't get away. We're not going to let you get away with it.
I can't wait to hear this.
This is the Larry laugh wheeze. We all wait for it. Every Christmas, we wait for Larry to laugh
gosh.
like this.
Come on, give us one. Give us
I gotta
one.
stop laughing. They're so ready.
Yeah.
No, self-care is the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a workaholic, and there's been a lot going on in our family life with the death of my wife's mother and all that's around that, and being executor of the estate, and so there's no spare moment. Rhonda and I need to take time off. We need to do things together, the date night kind of stuff, and we're just living day to day.
Wow.
So,
thank you for being honest.
And folks, something amazing happened here amongst us as we're sharing with all of you. And this is what happens when we open up to other safe people. We got advice during the break that none of us knew, but Mr. Terry, our producer, came in and shared wisdom. We found out that we're not alone in our struggles. We all got a boost of grace and relationship equity. Ooh, do this with us.
Well,
Call, share what's going on with you,
There's-
because you'll feel this as well.
There's several people waiting for that right now. So let's go talk to Esther. Esther is calling from Tampa, Florida, listens on our podcast. Hello, Esther.
Hi.
How can we help
Hi,
you?
Dr. Keffer. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
So, Dr. Keffer is very dear to my heart and to my life and to my walk. Her examples, her everything that comes out of her, I take great into my life and walking that. I broke off my engagement to my fiancé, who's also a co-pastor. I don't do any social media. I stay away from that. The more simple my life is, the easier it is for my mind to be able to walk and continue life. I've had a lot of trauma and a lot of past losses 8 years ago. So I broke off my engagement. What happens when you feel strongly that somebody is addicted to pornography or has an addiction? There was a gentleman who called who's 31 years old who said he's still living at home, and he admitted to the program that he has an addiction to pornography and he can't move forward. And when he said that, it's been 3 months since I broke off my engagement, but when he said that, the only thing that came to mind was my ex-fiancé. And please remind me why I don't. The more I was in this relationship, the more I minimize, and try to overlook things that were like right in front of me. And he would not admit that he has any pornography. He even turned it around and told me, maybe you've had a trauma of pornography with your ex-husband or something. And I said, no, I just want to make sure you don't. When they deny something like this, I mean, how do you navigate? Because I do want to be with someone, and I don't want to quit on people. And when I heard this 31-year-old man calling, like, it was not his fault. he fell into this trap, and
Esther,
my heart broke. And,
Esther, is your ex-fiance's denial of pornography the main reason why you ended the relationship?
yes.
And was there anything else about his character that added to your concern that he's hiding things from you and not being honest?
It's not that he's hiding it. He doesn't see it. He doesn't think it's a big deal. He doesn't think it's an addiction. He doesn't think.
Do you mean that you know he does use porn and he just says it's not a problem?
It's all over his social media. Like, I'm not on social media, but when my son found out, who's an adult, and my daughter-in-law, who's an adult, found out that I was engaged, my son said, I am going to find out everything about this person because this is my mom. And my son and my daughter-in-law, they went like FBI investigators. They opened up fake profiles of social media because they don't do social media either. They protect their marriage as much as they can. And they said, but if it's my mom, we're going to find out everything about this guy that she wants to marry. And I had an intervention with their pastor in my home for like 5 hours why I shouldn't marry this guy. And because even the pastor said his profile was very shady. And it at the time when I was having the intervention, I didn't break up the engagement. They wouldn't leave my home unless I would do it. But I said, I'm an adult, and I'm going to wait for God to talk to me and bring this to the light.
And Esther, how has he treated you, your ex-fiancé, since you broke up with him? Have you heard any more humility or repentance on his part?
He's never repented of that. He has. My son said this to me. He's 3 months later, just last week. He says, Mom, if he would have at least taken down his profile, if he would have admitted, we would have gotten him the right help. He would have come out of this a bigger person.
But there was no humility on his part. And Esther, what a tough loss for you to have to make that decision and now not be in that relationship. Help us understand, what's the question for us now? How can we help you today?
Well, there's nobody perfect out there, but I've been single and I've been praying on this for a husband, and I just feel that I love myself way too much. And when I hear all these women calling in about anger and pain, and they just get so messed up because they're living with someone who's addicted to pornography, how does a person, a woman who's so strong in the Lord and prepared to receive in marriage and wants to be connected with someone, how do I know that the person is not addicted? Just remind me why I shouldn't settle for someone who I.
Boy, did you call on the right day.
Esther, it's
addicted to pornography.
Yeah, it's almost like I was
scared of that.
Yeah, I was guessing your question, Esther, before you asked it, because I was hearing you and I thought of myself when I was like you, dating again. And I remembered thinking, is there even a man out there that isn't addicted to porn? Are there healthy guys out there? Because it's so discouraging. But let me tell you what I found out when I read Henry Cloud's book, Finding a Date Worth Keeping. And they challenged me. I don't know if you were listening back then, but Henry and Steve challenged me to date a minimum of 20 men before I could.
Did. I know this.
Okay. So I ended up with number 8, who's Kyle. In fact, we just celebrated our 8th anniversary.
I never told anybody.
Yeah, we just celebrated our 8th anniversary this month. But this is what I found out when I read their books. And Steve's book, Is This the One? I read both of them. But you know what I found out? Is that there are guys that are addicted to porn, and there are guys that are not. And I didn't realize that until I started going out there. But this is what I did. And I seriously didn't want to go back into the same situation I was at with Connor. I wanted a man of integrity. So typically, by date 2 or 3 if there was interest. I didn't usually do this on the first date because, you're just kind of meet and greet and you may not even have any interest in that person. But typically by date 2 or 3, I did something very brave, Esther. I told them a bit of my story, so I self-revealed. I came in humility, and I just said, I was married to somebody who struggled with pornography, and in fact, he struggled with a sex addiction. I don't want to do that again. And I asked them, I said, is pornography something that you struggle with? Is that something that you do on a regular basis? And then I zipped my mouth. Now, I got all kinds of answers. I had some guys look at me and go, no, I don't struggle with that. But guess what? They never called me back. And you know what that said to me? I missed a bullet. That wasn't going to be somebody that I wanted to be with. And then I had guys say, that's not really my thing. I'm not really into pornography. And then I had guys say, yeah, I do struggle with pornography. And I was very respectful. At that point, I didn't shame them. I had nothing to shame them for. I just realized that wasn't going to be a good fit. But I told the gentleman, I said, you know what? I've been through so much of my own recovery around pornography that if you were to pursue me and you have a problem with it, you're addicted to it, I'm going to be a horrible partner for you. I'm not going to be a good fit because I know too much. Now, that was kind, loving, respectful. I'm sure I missed a lot of opportunities because of that. But guess what I found? I found my Kyle. My Kyle, it wasn't his thing. And he called me back. And I thought, okay, Kyle's either a sociopath or, and I still have yet to get to know that, or he's being honest, right? And then we dated for a year and a half. And I got to know him and vetted him. But walk, don't run. But there are men out there that are not addicted to pornography.
And the reason
my struggle is
Esther, the reason why we screen this out of our marriage and out of the people we date is for a couple of different reasons. Men who are willing to engage in pornography are not cherishing us. And we start to feel like they're willing to bring other women into the bed and into their head and engage with them sexually. It also brings in a spiritual warfare aspect because they're not aligning themselves with God's will. And we will feel disrespected and unloved eventually. We might be able to tolerate for a time, but it always breaks down the marital relationship if men are not willing to be humble and to repent and to clean up this area of their life or stay away from it from the beginning.
What should we send her?
Hey, Esther, do you have my book, Intimate Deception, Healing the Wounds of Sexual Betrayal?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, that's what we're going to send you.
Coming your way.
Yeah.
And I hang on all of Sheri's words too, Esther. She's amazing. And getting to know her in person, it just confirms what she sounds like on air.
So, Esther, thank you for calling. That book will be coming your way. And I guess we could take the question from another caller right now. So let's go talk to, and I want to really encourage Kennedy to hold on. I don't want to take your call quite yet, but we're going to come to you, Kennedy, because it's a porn addiction call. Annette in Jacksonville, Florida. Annette is a Sirius XM listener. Hello, Annette. How can we help you?
Hi. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing great. How can we help you today?
I was just calling in for some advice on ways of effective communication with my daughter. I have a daughter. She's 38 years old, and she's got a son, single mom, very hard worker. She recently came out and told me that she is in a relationship with another woman. She knows how I feel about that as far as being a Christian, and I had the conversation with her that no matter what, I love her, and, you know, we all sin. Sin is a sin. It's just a different nature, and that's between, you know, something she's got to deal with her and God, but I don't accept that for her. That is out of God's will, and I feel that she's going to have, she's, not going to get the blessings that God would have coming her way. It goes a little deeper than that, though. This particular girl that she's in a relationship with, I know of her, and she was in a relationship before my daughter, and she jumped from one to the next. And when I go with my daughter, I'm afraid, because I know that this girl is just using her. My daughter has a nice place and makes good money, and she's the nurturing kind, and she would pay this. I mean, this girl doesn't work, doesn't have a vehicle, nothing. So it's like my daughter's taking on another child. But when I say something, I just feel that if you guys could give me some insight, some ideas of how to approach it, besides me coming
Annette,
at
we're
her
gonna have to go to a break, and we'll get what you need right when we come back.
I came into this thinking that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop is coming to Dallas, Texas, October 15th to the 17th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Mylan and Kay Yurkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship. And then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
And New Life's group counselors will help you focus on the area that will benefit your marriage most. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Okay, we're back. We're talking to Annette, and Annette has a daughter that has disclosed that she's gay, and she's wanting to know, is she handling things right?
Annette, I want to compliment you, because so far I'm hearing such a balance of truth and grace, and you want to be careful, but you also want to relay God's word to your daughter. So far, gosh, awfully well done with a very difficult situation. And you were telling us that you see that your daughter's partner is very likely using her. You want to finish your thoughts about that?
Yes. This and the way this is really crazy. The way that this girl came about is she was in a previous relationship with my husband's stepdaughter. So we have a blended family. He had a stepdaughter from a previous marriage, and she was in a relationship with her. They had came over with in regards to family get-togethers. And this girl, I just feel that she pursued my daughter, and because of, my daughter being the more giving and lenient type, to where my stepdaughter was she was putting more demands on her. And I had that same conversation with my stepdaughter when she told us about this lady as well, where my beliefs were and how I felt about it. And then she broke up with the stepdaughter, and then I just had this gut feeling that, what was going on. And sure enough, my daughter came forward.
And Annette, if you were to say to your daughter, I have some thoughts and concerns and even some information that I'd like to share with you because I care about you. It has to do with your new partner. How would your daughter respond to that?
She would be openly and to allow me, because she's got the utmost respect for me as her mother, and I've expressed some feelings, but I feel like I'm just not getting through, and that's why I was reaching out to you guys. Any other ways that you thought of communication, because I've just kind of hit her between the eyes with it, and I told her, and I said, how did
she react to the information you gave her? What'd she say to you?
Okay, so because I've got a grandson there that's 16, and that's my concern. He doesn't like this girl. He doesn't get along with this girl. And I told her, I said, just please do not move her in. Allow him to, graduate and go out on his own. And
tell us what she said to you.
him.
Tell us what she said about the concerns.
She said that she was not going to let her move in, that, she had her own place, and now it's like she's there all the time. Anytime you go there, she's there. I was told by another family member that that my daughter is now having money issues because she's paying for everything. Never had money issues before. You can just see the path that she's on. It's just not her, not her character.
Has your husband spoken into the situation with what he knows?
He, again, this is his stepdaughter. My daughter is not his daughter, of course. It's his stepdaughter, and then you got he's torn between what has happened, because my daughter is now with the partner that was his stepdaughter. So it's an awful situation, and so he's having a hard time, and he doesn't want to communicate with either one of them. He loves my daughter, but
so
you're the
only one expressing your concerns between you and your husband.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question to ask, Annette. Have you cried yet?
Sure.
Because this is incredible.
I have not.
Okay, you haven't cried. I didn't think so.
Mm-mm.
I didn't think so. And let me tell you why. I think you're in fight. Fight, flight, freeze is part as a trauma response. I think you're in fight. And what's happening is you are working so hard to try to get your daughter to turn down a different path. And your daughter's not turning. And when somebody doesn't turn because they're actually making their own choice, even if it's different from our spiritual belief, or what we believe is best for them, or what we even believe is best for your grandson, her son. But she's chosen. And when somebody has chosen for now, right? When they've chosen for now, there's a tremendous amount of loss and grief for us. And it's like we don't want to go there. We work harder. We fight harder. We bring more reasons. And then in doing that, we push them further away because they don't like us trying to fix them when they're actually making decisions. You have told her how you felt. And I think the piece that is missing for you is some grief. Loss, tears. You're hurting. You are hurting. I've sat with parents just like you. I have a niece that's gay. I've sat with parents and we've wept together in my office. I've sat with moms and dads because their dream, what they hoped for, what they wanted, is not on the path that their child's choosing. Now, they don't lose hope necessarily. They're still praying, but they've got to readjust their strategy so they don't push that person further into the arms of the one they're with.
Okay.
My husband's been addicted to porn since he was 10 years old.
I found out about 9 months into my marriage that he has a porn addiction.
My name is Sheri Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
Restore has empowered me and has given me the tools to work through my anger, work through my pain, work through my confusion, and help me realize that I am worthy.
Being here and being surrounded by people who get it has given me my power back.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Washington, D.C., November 12th through the 14th. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go online to newlife.com.
Thank you, Restore. You have changed my life forever.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the New Life member thank you gift of the New Life Journal, 100 Days of Peace, 7 Ways to Choose Healing, Growth Has No Boundaries, a Restoration Bible, and a New Life grocery tote to hold it all. Plus, there are ongoing benefits, like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Okay, we're back. And Alice has a few words for Annette still, wrapping this up.
Well, Annette, I just want to give you some specific steps that you can take about this. You've already expressed your concerns for your daughter, and when we repeat our concerns too many times, the brain of our child just shuts down. They don't hear it anymore. And so I want you to ask her a question instead. I want you to go to her to say, I love you and care about you. I have concerns about your partner. What will you allow me to do to help you and love on you well, given the concerns that I have? What do you want me to do? And what do you need me to stop doing? Now, her answer shouldn't dictate what you do, but it should influence what you do. And her answer will be telling. And then I want you to turn your focus onto your grandson. And I want you to pour into him, to invite him to your home if logistically that's feasible, so that you can be a place, a safe place he can go to, an outlet he can go to, because he's struggling with this and he has so little say in what his mother does.
Annette, thank you for the call.
And then I want to have her stay on the line and let us get you hooked into one of our New Life counselors. Because this is not something that you want to walk through alone. Like, it's something I think we wish we had that easy button from Staples. It's not that. It's not a simple. It's a very complex situation that needs lots of love, support, care. And I know in situation with parents, I've actually brought in their daughter or their son that is partnering with somebody else in order to help have conversations that are meaningful for both sides.
Okay. And we talked about a couple of different books, and I'm kind of leaning maybe doing that grief workbook.
I think so too, Larry.
Yeah, I think that would help you in that. So thank you so much for your call. Now we're going to go talk to Kennedy in Colorado Springs. Listens on KGFT. Kennedy, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding on. Tell us how we can help you.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Well, I've been
struggling with a porn addiction for the last 20 years, and here within the last few months, it's led me to do something pretty despicable, and the guilt of it is eating me alive.
Aww. Thank you for, Kennedy, just being so brave and courageous to call.
Are you married, Kennedy?
No, I've been single practically my whole life. I had one relationship when I was 17 that lasted for about 8 months.
Okay.
And how old, can we ask how young you are, how old you are?
28.
28, okay. So you have your whole life ahead of you, my friend. And first off, let me say I'm really heartbroken over the relationship you had when you were 17, because I bet you that was an important relationship and it didn't work out. And it's been a long time since you've probably felt loved, needed, wanted, desired. And I think that's where the porn fits in. Because the pornography, right, all those glossy images or the cyber sex or whatever it is that you've been engaged in, the look on the eyes of the people that are in the porn are looking at you, almost looking through you, as if to say, I want you, I need you, I care for you. It's a counterfeit, but it just hooks us for something that our heart really longs for. And that's
right.
that someone would want to be with you, and they would choose you, and they would want to build a relationship. Can you just give us a little bit about that relationship at 17? What happened?
Well, we liked each other for a little bit, for a couple months or so. Then we started dating, and just about towards the end, we kind of realized we had a lot of differences. You know, I was ready and she wasn't, and at that time I didn't want kids, she did, so a little bit of an oxymoron there, I guess. But we just one of the final things that ended it was I was a high school dropout, and ultimately I wasn't somebody she wanted to be with. So.
And do you know, Kennedy, that shame of being a high school dropout, it's at the center of porn addiction. Do you know what the negative belief is? I'm not enough.
What's that?
I'm not enough. I'm not enough. And so again, our heart longs to be enough. We want to be enough for somebody else. And that porn feels like, right, because you can go out, there's so many different images you can look at, hundreds and thousands of people that cause you to feel like you're enough, but it's false intimacy. It's not the real deal.
Kennedy, do you need to confess what you did that was so despicable to somebody?
Yes, I do.
And is it just the shame that's keeping you from doing that?
Would you tell us?
It's the shame. It's the fear of permanently destroying a relationship, and it's a lot.
Is that a relationship with another woman?
No. All right. So I split the rent with my brother and his girlfriend, his fiancé, whatever you want to call her. Yeah, and it crossed my mind that on her digital camera she might have some not so appropriate photos, and then I went and confirmed my suspicions.
So you went and looked at your brother's phone, or her phone. You went into her phone and looked at photos that she had taken of herself, like sexting photos, and sent it to... She had sent them to your brother.
Precisely.
Okay.
And did it go farther than that? Did you take any other action?
No.
Looking?
No. After that, I felt the glare of the Lord, I guess you could say, and I mean, I've seen the camera sitting there, just me at home, several times since then, and it's not something I've even tried to think about or wanted to think about. But the guilt ultimately has set in and it's kicking me in the rear.
What have you considered doing about your action?
Well, I mean, the fact that they don't know that I still live there, and the fact that neither one of them know it, and they need to know. I mean, I got to let them know eventually. It's got to come out. But I don't know if I should tell both of them at the same time, tell her first and then him, or him first and then her. Or
Do either of them know about your porn addiction?
I don't think so. No, I don't think anybody really knows.
You know what? How about if you made a plan? What if it looked like this? You started with us today, right? And you know that glare of the Lord that you felt? It's amazing, because I think that God, his heart is for you. And he wants you free. And maybe it was this act, this very act that you did, that you crossed your own boundaries and ethics, and you did something that you deeply regret that could have severe consequences. What if you took the first step and came to the Every Man's Battle workshop, where you could sit with other men and you could take your first step on your journey towards sobriety, towards dealing with this, that you would follow that glare of the Lord instead of walking away from it, instead of white-knuckling it. You'd kind of walk into the light and say, okay. Because then if you go to Every Man's Battle and you start and you get into a support group and you get a good counselor who can help you with a porn addiction, and you begin to work on sobriety and you begin to connect with other men in a small group, do you know what you have to come back to them with? Hey, for the last 4 months, I've been working on something, a porn addiction that I've had. And I have 120 days of sobriety. And I need to tell you what was the catalyst that got me there. Maybe it's not 120 days. Maybe you wait, you work with your counselor. You come up with a plan of when you want to disclose. But right now, get on the path. Don't let this be the thing that you ignore. Let it be the thing that opens the door.
I have some thoughts about that I want to tell you after the break. But before the break, I want to encourage you. We have Every Man's Battle coming up. If you register by noon tomorrow Central, you could still make it in. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. But there's no reason to wait another month. And we can talk more about that too at the break. But I have a tendency to want to treat people that need this like you do as an emergency. Your life could blow up worse in the next month if you don't do something about it now.
So true.
But hang on the line. We're going to come back to you.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Okay, we're back, and we're talking to Kennedy. And Kennedy, we were talking about you at the break, and we all thought that what you had done was going to be so much worse than what you told us it was. So that doesn't give you cause or pause to think you're out of the woods. But we're also incredibly grateful that your heart is one to want to disclose and fess up to your brother. And she's not your sister-in-law yet, right?
No, but I certainly consider her my little sister.
Okay.
Just feeling that much more. Yeah.
Well, Alice has something she wants to say, and I do too, and Sheri might as well. So Alice, take the lead.
Kennedy, did you and your brother grow up as believers?
Oh, yeah, we're an entire family of believers. As a matter of fact, she did not come from a Christian home, and it was our whole family that kind of had a hand in leading her to the Lord.
So God is trying to break through into your little household there with you and your brother and your future sister-in-law, because your sister-in-law and your brother are so very likely engaging in sexual behavior outside of marriage. Just the fact that she's taking these photos of herself means that the door is too far open sexually for her as well. It is for all of you. And God wants to break in, and he's tapping on you. He needs you to be the avenue through which he breaks into this household. So your confession to them, if you follow Sheri's plan, it will not only be a relief of the guilt that you carry, but it will be a hand out and a hand up to them. Because immoral sexual behavior is taking place for everyone, and God wants better for all three of you. So I want you to see the work you have to do as actually being a potential spiritual blessing.
Hey, I'm sorry, you're starting to cut out pretty bad here.
I want you to see the confession you'll make to them and the work you do on yourself as a spiritual blessing to the household. It's a service to them as well as to yourself.
I want to share with you, I really like Sheri's idea for a couple of reasons. Well, one, going to every man's battle, you will learn the root cause of why you run to porn to comfort yourself. There's something in your past, there's something in what your experience has been that has caused you to turn to porn. Some people turn to gambling, some turn to alcohol, some turn to overeating. You've turned to porn. And we can find that out. You can find that out. That's one. The other thing is, when we do this workshop, a lot of the guys are married, and they're scared to death to disclose to their wife. We encourage full disclosure. And that's already in your heart. But you are still scared to death about it. You don't want a broken relationship. But I've got to tell you, it's amazing how many people, after a full disclosure, will stay in a relationship, and you can rebuild trust. And that is a real possibility and a good thing that I think God has in store for you. And Sheri, you have a couple of things you were thinking.
Yeah, I mean, my heart aches for you, Kennedy, knowing that I think you said you started looking at porn at 8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? The gentlemen that I work with, like you, Kennedy, it is so common for them to find the porn or, get it from a friend or a dad's stash or whatever. And I know you have your own story. But you don't have to stay there. You can actually change this. And I love your heart. I love how burdened you are by what you did. And I think it's okay that you're deeply burdened, because you know what that says? It says you love your brother. And it says you love his,
your little sister.
Your little sister. Yeah, you love both of them, and your heart is conflicted over defiling that. And so that's a really good thing. I want you to hold on to that, but just hold on to that to take you to the next step, which is, would you be willing to go? Would you commit to us that you'll go to Every Man's Battle? Can you tell us that as a part of your confession and a part of you getting the support so that you can go back and offer the healing and truth?
Certainly going to promise to try my best.
Okay, but that's not what I'm asking.
Right.
You know what I'm asking.
Not that you'll try, that you'll do it.
And Kennedy, I'm sure you've heard this before. Don't let money be the issue, because we have a scholarship fund. And if you can't afford it, we can help.
So what's in the way? Because let me tell you something, Kennedy, that's very tempting for you. Now that you've confessed with us, you feel lighter, you feel freer, and you're like, okay, I confessed. But you know what? That's not what needs to happen. What's keeping you from saying, hey, Sheri, I'm scared out of my mind, but yes, I'm going to do what I need to do to go to Every Man's Battle. What's keeping you from that?
The just lying about it whenever people see me leaving off to go somewhere. I'm not so ready to disclose where I'm going and
You're
why
going
I'm
to a
for.
men's conference. That's what so many of the men tell their friends and their church members. I've got a men's conference I'm going to.
Larry goes to all of these, so he knows.
Yeah.
What else? What's else in the way, Kennedy? Let's just put it out here. What's in the way, my friend?
How much travel is involved?
Well, if you're going to do the one that starts this week, you're going to have to get a ticket or drive to Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, that's just another one of the things. Just how sudden it is. And
Okay. Well, I can understand maybe you can't make it this week, but there's another one next month. And there's a lot of time to plan for that.
Do you know they come up every month?
To Colorado Springs?
No,
but one of them comes into Colorado Springs.
not for a while.
Not
no.
for a little
We're
bit.
going to be in Orange County, California, in November.
Dude, Orange County.
Dude,
come here. That's a
drive.
drive.
It's a Southwest ticket, if nothing else.
I think it's $99.
But if you can figure this out in a month, you can figure this out. And I want to ask you, what do you think of Sheri's suggestion that you withhold the disclosure until after you go to that workshop, so you can share some success and some vulnerability about what you've experienced and what you did to help yourself, because that was part of your issue. Does that sound good to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay, but this is my short stick.
Yeah.
Right? If you take my words and you go, okay, she said to go this first, and I can't really go, maybe it'll be a year or two, you know what? That's self-deception.
And you can call right now and reserve your spot for the November workshop.
Right.
That's a step of faith.
Yeah, and trust God to provide. We may even have a donor that's listening to this conversation right now. If you're listening right now and you hear Kennedy and you would like to help him, somehow, would you just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE, and we will make the connection. Because you want to go, Kennedy, even though you're scared?
Yeah, I probably should, though.
More than probably, you should. Yes.
We're also going to get you a copy of Every Man's Battle, and I want you to crack that book open as soon as it gets to you. Read it. Do the work in there.
Candy, I'm so glad that you called. It's fabulous that you called. There are men listening to this call right now that needed to hear what we said to you. So thanks for calling.
We're proud of you. Don't let it end here, Kennedy.
Yeah, and we're praying for you.
You know, I was reading the story in the Bible. Actually, a pastor said this the other day. When Jesus calmed the storm when he was asleep, and they came to him and they said, "We're perishing." And he said, "Why are you fearful? Don't you have faith?" And it seems so simple, yet we make it so difficult. How much fear is running around this world right now? So don't live in fear, folks. Have faith. We love you. We're glad you listened today, and we look forward to coming back tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.